about it. This is only her second week where she's been released into our main enclosure. The enclosure that the bears have to ramble through is about 2.5 acres. So there's a lot of room for her.
Good morning, and thank you for visiting the North American Bear Center. This is our 11 o'clock bear enrichment.
So that's why you
and
see
the bear
a
you
number of
see
people
to our right
down there
here,
right now. Those
this
are
is
boys.
Tasha. This is her first time attending a bear enrichment. We're pretty excited about it.
This is only her second week where she's been released into our main enclosure. The enclosure that the bears have to ramble through is about 2.5 acres. So there's a lot of room for her to be besides up in front of this area here for you to see quite easily. So that's why you see the number of people that are down there right now. Those are voices that she knows, voices that are encouraging to her and getting used to the situation. And that's why we ask you to be so quiet while you're up on the deck right now. I'm going to try to keep my voice low. If you have any questions that I might not address during this presentation afterwards, please feel free to contact me inside or someone else in the gray vest, and we'll do our best to answer the questions that you might have. Now on to Tasha. Tasha arrived here in June. She came from Kentucky. She is a yearling, which means if she was in the wild, this would be her first summer separated from her mother. She'll be 2 years old in January. It is known that Tasha was separated from her mother at a very young age. Her mother had been hit by a car, and so someone with the best of intentions took this little baby that they found into the house to try to raise her and help her make her way. We at the Bear Center don't encourage that you bring wild animals into your house. You need a special permit to be able to do so, and unless they have deep pockets, your grocery bill by the time these bears get older is going to be pretty expensive. So because the person who took her in didn't have the proper paperwork to have a bear in their home, she was removed, and that's when we were contacted, and she was brought to us via U-Haul by a couple of volunteers. Tasha had never really been exposed to bears too much when she first came to live with us. So when she saw the other 3 bears that lived here, it was a little bit nerve-wracking for her, and in addition to having to get used to new people being around all the time. She was kept isolated because of USDA regulations for the first 30 days that she lived here. We couldn't have her out with the other bears. She was vet checked, was approved to be here. When she arrived, she weighed 97 pounds. Pretty much beneath me in our viewing area, you see that little box? That's what we use to weigh our bears. That is our scale. Tasha has not been on the scale since her arrival here in June, so if we can get her on the scale today, it's going to be a big win for us to be able to see what her weight gain is at this point. She seems to be responding quite well to what's going on. And again, thank you for being so quiet while this is all going on. That's very, very helpful. In addition to Tasha living here on site, we also have Holly. Holly is the other bear that's out roaming around within the enclosure at this time, and that's why you see Tasha kind of looking around. Bears are a matriarchal society, and although Tasha has seemed to bond with Holly the most, they seem to be similar in size, and Holly is the closest in age to Tasha. Holly is our 3-year-old female. Holly also is setting the stage on who's the boss inside of here and letting Tasha know what her territory is. So we'll see if Holly decides to show for this bear enrichment. She's kind of been a no-show at this stage of the year. It's starting to get close to hibernation, and Holly has been doing a lot of den digging activity. Now within this 2.5 acres, there are 5 separate enclosures that we have for our bears. Inside 2 of those enclosures at this time are our 2 males. I'll talk about them in a moment. I'm going to go back to the enclosures, and we also have man-made dens. You can see one of those dens right in front of you is called the rock den. The other den in the viewing window is our window den. In addition to those 2 dens, there's dens within those 5 enclosures. Holly has turned her nose to those dens, however, and her wild genes really show, and she's been digging herself her own little space. She did that her first winter here. We'll see what happens this year. She has been observed digging. Last year she dug a den and ended up turning her nose to it at the last minute and ended up denning with Lucky. Bears in the wild would not den together, especially bears of that age, but Lucky and Holly have established a pretty special relationship. which, again, you wouldn't see. Lucky is our 9-year-old male. If you stick around for the next behind-the-scenes tour, which will happen at noon, we'll take you up to meet him at that time. Lucky and Ted are both in their separate enclosures, so Tasha has the ability to get to the lay of the land. As I stated earlier, Tasha wasn't exposed to bears, and she is bonded with Holly because of her size. However, Ted and Lucky are both large males. Ted's a little bit larger than Lucky, but large males would be seen as intimidating to a yearling female, which is why they are inside their small enclosures. We're hoping that Tasha's confidence continues to grow in her forever home here, and we take baby steps and kind of read the behaviors of the bears and what their actions tell us on how they interact with each other and how soon the boys will be released with her. 3 of our 4 bears that live here at the center were born in the wild and were separated from their mothers at a young age. Again, you can see how spooked Tasha is at this time by the birds. I'm going to just kind of quiet my voice and maybe see if she's brave enough to come in. Every little move we make up here on the deck is affecting Tasha. There's a lot of different factors right now that have Tasha uneasy about the situation. There's us, of course. Bears have a very good sense of smell. I'm sure we all have our own little perfume going on, and so she could be keen into that. Every time we shift our weight up on this deck, you can kind of feel the vibration underneath your feet. She is probably hearing that noise as well. Again, you guys are all doing a great job and being very quiet. It's very appreciated. But something that we don't think about that is scaring her is her reflection of the windows. We have a large wall of windows downstairs. If you're inside, you're able to view Tasha through those windows at this point. However, Tasha is also able to see her reflection, so it looks like there's another bear that she can see. And she doesn't quite know what to think of that situation. We also have the noise from the waterfalls that helps cover up, her ability to hear what might be going on. And she's going to explore a little bit. That's what we call the rock den. It goes back a pretty good ways. We have had bears hibernate in there the first couple years that we were open. However, it's been a while since a bear has chosen that as their spot for hibernation. It's neat to see her explore and learn about the different areas in this viewing area and to see her reactions. I'm being told by people who can observe Tasha from down below that she was just kind of sniffing around in there. I don't know of too many of our bears. You see how she's sliding when she's walking right now? That's called stomp walking, and what she's doing is putting suspense down, and she's marking her territory to a certain extent and leaving behind a little trail saying, "Hey, my name is Tasha, and I've been here, and I don't know if you know about me, but I'm learning the lay of the land." Bears can be seen doing that in their territory in the wild. My observation of Tasha when she gets into these situations, it seems when she's nervous, that's what she does to kind of soothe herself at this point. At least that's the personality trait that I've seen with her. There's still some grapes over there that she's able to find, and she's kind of capitalizing on the situation of getting lots of treats. Tasha is doing a great job. So I'm going to stop talking about Tasha for a couple minutes. We'll talk about another bear that lives here. His name is Ted. He is the oldest of our 4 bears that live here. He's 19 years old. And again, if you stick around for the behind-the-scenes tour at 11 or noon o'clock, you'll be able to see Ted at that time. Ted is in semi-retirement at this point, so the enclosure that he's in within the enclosure is a lot larger than the other enclosures that we have. Again, we don't have Ted out with Tasha at this time because of his size and the fact that he's so intimidating to her. However, Ted is quite a friendly bear. He makes lots of nice, soft, soothing noises. I'm not going to do an imitation of them because I can't do them any justice. However, if you're on site, you are able to go to an exhibit that we have, and it plays the different noises and vocalizations that bears make. On a whole, bears are very quiet animals. If you are following us online and listening in on our broadcast, I do believe there's a section of the website that you can hear different vocalizations of bears as well. There's lots of sweet, sweet words that are being said to Tasha at this point to encourage her to come onto the scale. She's hesitant, checking out the foods that are right there. We'll see if she's able to make her way up onto the scale. My guess is it's probably going to move a little bit underneath her. The reason why we like to get our bears weighed, we do it on a weekly basis, and this is to maintain their weight and make sure they're at a healthy weight. Our bears all get fed a variety of foods based on their weight and their different biologies. That's decided by our bear curator. She's down underneath. And she tries, oh, look at her. Do you see how she reaches with her foot to pull those grapes on, manipulating the situation so it's at her comfort level? You can see, too, how Tasha is picking up the grapes with her tongue. Bears have a very sticky tongue, and I think what's been found is it makes it easier. Tasha just heard a noise that made her uncomfortable. That's why she stood up on her back feet at that time. Often when people come across Tasha standing up the way that she's doing right now is her assessing the situation and trying to figure out if she needs to run or if she's safe. In the wild, when people encounter bears, it's usually on days where it's very windy and the bears don't have a chance to hear or smell us before we startle them. And that's when you see the bears stand up in the way that she just did. When they're standing up, they're assessing the situation and trying to figure out, should I stay or should I go? Bears are a timid animal, and 9 times out of 10 are going to run away from a situation where they feel like they're in danger, which is why you see the hesitation on Tasha's point right now. These are all very big steps for Tasha and what's going on right now. It's fun to watch. It's hard for me to talk about the other bears that live here on site while this is going on. But again, if you're on site and you stick around, if you missed the 10 o'clock behind-the-scenes tour, please join us at noon on a behind-the-scenes tour, and you will have a chance to meet our 2 males that live on site at that time, and possibly Holly too. What I can tell you is all 4 bears that live here have very different personalities. Of the 4 bears, Tasha is the most timid, but she's overcoming a lot in the last couple months. The fact that she's sticking around while I'm up here babbling and making noise for you guys to listen to is quite impressive, in addition to the fact that there's noises from down below and up on the deck too. The folks down below have all worked at the Bear Center for quite some time. We've got Sharon Harrell, she's our bear curator. We've got Scott Edgett, he's the director of operations, and then we've got Missy Heitela, who's our buyer. This is a very big day for Tasha. I'm going to end the program at this time. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to stop by the North American Bear Center. I will stay out here on the deck just in case anything exciting happens with Tasha, or if she acts in any way for me to explain any behavior she may put out for us to see. We do appreciate you stopping by our facility. We are a nonprofit organization, so you coming through the doors today helps us maintain this facility for these bears to have for their forever home. It also helps us continue to educate people about the true behavior of the black bears. If you decide to head into town for lunch today, you are able to come back to us without paying admission again, as long as you keep your bracelet on. Keep that on all day. We are open till 6 o'clock. We do have programs that go through the rest of the day until 5. The next one will be at noon. If you decide that you want to do a little bit more exploring around Ely, I encourage you to check out the International Wolf Center. It's on the other edge of town. Again, keep your bracelet on. You'll get $1 off your admission down there. If I have not addressed any questions that you might have, please feel free to check with me inside. And again, thank you for joining us for this program.